June the 21st, 2019, and I'm getting ready to start my trek to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. It's really going to be Du Bois. Several stops. The first stop will be at Ohio County, Kentucky. It's about a 3-hour and 30-minute flight, and I will just start at the engine, fill up the gas tanks, ready to go.
Well, once I downloaded all the videos, I realized that my sound intake to the video had shorted, and so none of my ATC transmissions nor in-flight commentaries came through. So let's see what I can do about correcting that by giving you some overlay transmission. I ended up taking off at 7 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time, and it ended up being about 3 hours to Ohio County Airport in Kentucky. Normal, other than over the Appalachians, had to go to 8,000 feet to comply with the minimum altitude. After heading once I passed the Appalachian Mountains, I was able to descend and increase my speed coming in. Everything was pretty much normal for that part of the trip. Once I looked at the weather after I landed in Ohio County, Kentucky, saw that thunderstorms were being developed in the middle of the country, and so we decided to go south of Missouri and try to avoid those heavy storms, and ended up landing in Springfield, Missouri. Most of that trip was in heavy IFR, in the clouds, in and out, pretty much in and out, and some headwinds and some turbulence as we were getting close to Bolivar, Missouri, and so decided to spend the night in Springfield. They were very, very kind there at the FBO, and then decided to, because of what was happening with the weather and the thunderstorms, they were coming right over Springfield to spend the night. En route to Springfield, I was in IMC and my headset, which is a Lightspeed headset, started malfunctioning, giving me a heck of a feedback, and I wasn't able to hear ATC, so I turned off my sound canceling and got my wife's Clarks, put them on so I could hear, and that's what I have to wear the rest of the trip. I have a new Zulu set coming soon, and that'll be the replacement for my headset.
Springfield Tower, Grumman 9896U is ready for departure.
Grumman 98. Power flight runway heading, runway 2. Takeoff.
Runway heading, clear for takeoff, 96U.
Well, last March I earned my instrument rating, and this trip would not have been possible without the instrument rating. This approach into Hill City, Kansas was my first real and non-simulated approach to an airport. I chose the RNAV approach. It was marginal VFR with 1,000-foot ceilings and pretty good visibility underneath the clouds, so it was a good practice for a first time in IMC. Once I landed or in a short approach, I noticed that the engine wasn't running as smoothly as it usually did. So in investigating, my number 4 spark plug wasn't functioning correctly. I do carry extras, so I did put one in. I spoke to my mechanic and decided to head back towards Springfield in case I needed to go back to North Carolina to get my plane checked out. Everything worked perfectly all the way back to Springfield, and the weather was coming behind me again with heavy rains and thunderstorms, so spent the night again in Springfield, Missouri. So the plane really ran well, except for that one spark plug. It is good to have your own spark plug wrench and extras in case you need them in a situation like this. Hill City is really in the middle of nowhere with nobody at that airport. So there was a fellow running a air tractor doing some spraying of fields, and he was helpful with some advice, and I appreciated him very much. now is Sunday morning. Weather is sort of yucky in Springfield, Missouri, and raining. But after speaking to my son, who's a very good pilot in South Carolina, and looking at the weather maps, it looked like there was a way back to get myself en route to Wyoming by going north and landing somewhere in Iowa, and then heading over towards Nebraska and Wyoming. The storms were going to be worse in the afternoon, so right now I'm taking off at 7 o'clock in the morning, and although very much an IFR day, it wasn't turbulent at all. It just low clouds and some rain for about 30-40 minutes getting out of Springfield going north, and then I was really on top of the clouds at 8,000 feet. There was a bit of turbulence sort of north of Missouri, and then once I got into Iowa, I was cleared all that and did a RNAV approach in Iowa, although I forgot to turn on the camera, so that approach and landing did not get recorded. I did record my takeoff out of Iowa. Well, once I departed Denison, Iowa, I climbed back up to about 6,000 feet. About halfway through was my last span of the rains, and I had to divert a little bit for some heavier storms, and then direct back to Chadron, Nebraska. Filled up my gas tanks and decided from there to go all the way to Jackson Hole. Originally we were planning to land in Du Bois, but our plans had changed after some friends that were going to meet in Washington State and go down to Oregon got canceled because of sickness. And so decided, well, we're going to be going to Jackson Hole and land there. You have to have reservations in Jackson Hole to have your spot. And they gave me that as I was making those decisions, and so we're planning to spend a little time in Jackson Hole with family. Well, this is Du Bois Airport, flying at 10,500 feet. That airport is at 7,400 feet. And now we're going through the pinnacles, or to my right. I wish that video had taken them. They were beautiful. It started snowing on me, and as I was passing over Brooks Lake, which is to my right, and then of course Togody Pass. The clouds were above me about a couple of thousand feet, and of course I was looking at my wings, and nothing was sticking to them, so I was kept on going. And you at 10,500 feet, you do have to avoid or stay right on the road. There's a road that goes below me, and once you pass that, you're getting to the Jackson Hole Valley, and the Grand Tetons are just beautiful. Jackson Lake to my right, and the Snake River below me. Of course, the landing into Jackson Hole is always beautiful, and just looking forward to seeing family. I ended up having my plane parked at 6:45 in the afternoon. A very cool day. Had shorts and short sleeve shirt and the heat on in my cabin in the end of June. So it was chilly. What a wonderful trip. Ended up a little bit longer than I expected with all that weather in the middle of the country, but it's good to be here.